#1 rock show. It is my pleasure to welcome you along to Johannesburg in South Africa. Now we are thrilled to be here courtesy of Iron Maiden, and tonight we're bringing you all the action from the Iron Maiden X-Factour, T-O-U-R in this case. That means interviews, videos and live performances from Iron Maiden. Plus we're also going to be checking out some new videos from Ozzy Osbourne and Def Leppard, and also meeting up with our competition winner Stella. So watch out for that. So this is the show that puts the X in the X Factor from Johannesburg in South Africa. It's the Headbangers Ball with Iron Maiden. Woo!
When you start to take a look within.
What a fine way to start off tonight's show. It's our first visit to South Africa. We've come to Johannesburg courtesy of Iron Maiden, joining them on the X-Factour. I like that little wordplay. And we just saw Number of the Beast from 1982, the album of the same name. And joining me here first up, I've got Janick and Steve. So I last saw you at the party actually, very fun night. And now you've been on the road for about a week. And how are things going? Have you got off to a smooth start?
Yeah, very smooth. We've had a fantastic time. Concerts have been amazing. The kids have been fantastic. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And how was it to play with Blaze for the first time, actually with kids out front and the adrenaline surging?
Yeah, it was brilliant. I mean, the first gig was like in a small club, like just a warm-up, and it was just brilliant. It really was good. We really enjoyed it, you know. It wasn't a lot of room to move about, but it was really intense. It was great.
Now, we're going into the video for Man on the Edge in just a moment, but Steve, a question for you. The Number of the Beast album was a transition for you from Paul Di'Anno to Bruce Dickinson. This, the X Factor has been from Bruce to Blaze. Was there any similarity in the kind of feelings that you had all those years ago when you changed singer? Was it? I mean, obviously you had the great energy coming in, but there was the uncertainty as well.
It was a bit different because we had quite a period of time where we didn't really have a singer, you know, because Bruce was deciding to leave, and it was, you know, sort of out in the open and everything. Whereas when Paul went, you know, it was kind of like we found Bruce quite quickly. So we didn't audition and all that, loads of people and everything. So it was a bit strange. We were just four of us in the band for quite a while, and that did feel strange. But obviously, once Blaze joined, it felt great. It felt like a unit again. But yeah, I suppose that, you know, there are similarities. You know, when you change singer from that time to, you know, this time or whatever. You know, I mean, the writing's gone brilliant, and the album's, you know, taken a long time, but we finally got there with it, and you know, we're really happy with it. So, you know, I mean, the gigs have been going great. I mean, it couldn't have gone better, really.
Okay, well, we'll talk some more about the X Factor in just a moment, but right now we're going to show you the very first video from the new Iron Maiden album, and this is a song that was co-written by Janick and Blaze, and I have to say, I love this video. I'm not just saying this, I think it's the best Iron Maiden video. So should we see it right now? This is Iron Maiden, Man on the Edge. Bringing you the lowdown on the new Iron Maiden album, The X Factor, and Janick and Steve are still with me, and just a few moments ago we saw the video for Man on the Edge, which you co-wrote with the Blaze, Janick, and you gave us a very good explanation of the song at the party. Just kind of on the surface, it could be kind of a businessman kind of getting out of control and so on, but there's on another level. Yeah,
I mean, also, you know, it covers social decay and urban city decay and stuff like that. It's a whole spectrum of things. Mm-hmm. But basically, any song can mean what you want it to mean. You don't have to follow what we think. Right. Make your own minds up.
And how did the songwriting work, Steve? Because obviously Blaze came into a very close unit of people who've been together for a long time. Was it difficult to integrate him into it and find out how the songwriting process would work with him?
It wasn't difficult at all because he just came straight. I mean, we didn't start writing the album before he joined. We wanted to wait until, you know, whoever was going to be the singer joined, because it's very important to feel part of it. And obviously we was hoping that someone would join who would be writing it, and Blaze does write quite a lot, so it was great. You know, he came in and first of all he sort of said, well, you know, do you have a direction? And we said, well, we never have a direction, we just write the best songs we can. And, you know, from then on in he just came in and just, you know, co-wrote stuff with
very natural, wasn't it? The whole thing was natural.
Yeah. Because basically, as I understand it, you kind of jam in the studio prior to recording and kind of work out the songs in that kind of fairly informal environment.
We have the songs pretty much together, really, don't we, when we bring them to the studio, but we don't tend to do demos, because I always feel the fire's lost on a demo, and I know Steve thinks the same way. So the initial thing that happens when you play the song together for the first time, we try and get that actually onto the record.
Right.
So there's no demos, and you can look back and say, well, we missed something, you know, we got it there right on the record, and that's part of what the X-Factor is all about.
Yes, that's a unknown quantity, I think we can say. Now, how's Blaze been working out in the live shows so far? Because in the video he looks so confident and so energetic. How's he actually got on stage? It must be pretty nerve-wracking for him.
Well, he's been nervous and confident at the same time, which is a very edgy combination. I mean, you know, we've been getting at the fans seem to have accepted him really well, which is obviously great, you know. And once he's on the stage, he just seems to feel really, you know, confident.
After the first night, we felt it was Jack Nicholson without the axe. I'm home.
I'm glad he left the axe behind. All right, well, we're going to show you a little bit of Iron Maiden live here on stage in Johannesburg. After the break, we've got more coverage of the tour coming up, and you should also stick around and check out the new Ozzy Osbourne video, Perry Mason. That's coming up for the first time on Headbangers Ball right after these messages, but taking us to the break, Iron Maiden live on the X-Factour.
That makes us feel as one. Who cares how much right or wrong is reality? Killing so we survive. Wherever we may roam, wherever we may hide, we've got to get away. I don't hold resistance to it. We don't have ourselves for the elements. I just want to feel like a soul. We don't need a mode of morality. I like all the mixed emotions and anger. It brings out the animal, the power you could feel. And feeling so high with this much adrenaline. Excited or scared to believe what we become. Saints and sinners, something within us. We are Lord of the flies. Saints and sinners, something within us to be Lord of the flies.
Welcome back to the Headbangers Ball Iron Maiden X-Factour special, coming to you from South Africa. The first time the ball has visited this continent, and the same can be said for Iron Maiden, their first time for playing in Johannesburg. And up next we're going to talk to Blaze and find out how things are going for him. So welcome down to Headbangers Ball, Blaze. I last met up with you at the launch party in London, where you were just doing 101 interviews, but now you've actually got out there and done what you've been wanting to do for a long time, and that's play live with Maiden. So how did it go, the first show?
Well, it's been great. We were in Israel. We started off. They were supposed to be low-key gigs, but we had like a journalist from Kerrang, and the Sunday Times was there with us, and our own video crew and everything. And it was complete chaos. We were doing loads of photos, and all, you know, the manager was there packing everything in. But the first gig was quite small. You know, it's like a club size, so it wasn't like anything outrageous. And I just thought, when we were on there, I thought, well, this is like rehearsals, where it's loads easier, you know, because there's loads better sound, less self-conscious, great crowd. For not playing in Israel before. We just had fantastic support from, you know, loads of fans that we didn't even know that we had. So it's just been brilliant.
Well, congratulations to you, because you're in fine form. And I was just saying earlier, I loved the video, and I thought you were fantastic in the video as well. Did you enjoy doing the Man on the Edge?
Oh yeah, it was great, because that was like another step to, yeah, we're really doing this. It's like when we were making the video, it's one more time where they can't say, oh, could you just fit this interview in, or could you just do that? It's like, yeah, now we're making a video, let's just go completely mad and forget that we've been in the studio for over a year making a record.
Absolutely.
So it was great, really good.
Good. Well, I want to talk in depth about your role in Iron Maiden and your contributions to the album, but I just sort of started turning the clock back a little bit. You had kind of like, I think it was nearly 10 years in Wolfsbane, and you literally toured every toilet and around the UK and so on. Yeah. How was that experience? Did that set you up well for what you've got to do with Maiden? What did you learn from that?
Well, I think so, because one of the things I learned was roughly how to keep my voice through the most extreme circumstances. And the other thing was that when Wolfsbane first got signed up to Deaf American and everything, we had a lot of attention from press and media and stuff like that. Then I think that kind of prepared me as well, because you couldn't really dream of the amount of attention you get being in Iron Maiden. It's like being a goldfish sometimes. There's always somebody there to ask a question or take a photograph. But I think in a way that did prepare me, you know, a great deal.
Well, we're going to talk to Blaze some more, but right now we've got some more music on the way, something a little bit special for you. Ozzy Osbourne reckons retirement sucks, and he's going to be returning to Europe in the first week of November for his brand new tour in support of his new record Osmosis. And right now we've got the European premiere of the brand new Ozzy Osbourne video. This is something special. This is Ozzy with Perry Mason. Talking to Blaze on the Headbangers Ball Iron Maiden X-Factour special from Johannesburg. And tell us a little bit about your contribution to the album. I mean, how was it to write with people that you'd obviously admired for a long time, and to come into that situation of a very close unit with the rest of the guys? Did you feel confident about putting forward ideas?
Well, the thing was, the rest of the guys were just made me feel really comfortable. Steve just said, write what you feel. You know, it's no use trying to be contrived or trying to write to a formula or try and do this or that. Write what you feel, and that will be what we come up with, you know. And Janick and I worked together. We worked together with Steve as well. And it came out really, really well, you know. So I was very, very happy. But the main thing was that the guys in the band, I mean, you're playing with great musicians for a start. So that made me feel better. And I think that made me find a bit of extra performance or whatever. It's certainly, I've noticed a marked improvement. And it was just great, really. They gave me the confidence to contribute ideas, and it worked well.
Great. And obviously you've got to also perform the old songs in the live environment. How difficult was that to get into? Was there any particular difficulties with that?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's difficult. That some of them are quite technical, so it's just like a different way of thinking, and just concentrating on your technique, really, and making sure that you've got a really good sound on stage, and we've got a great monitor guy, so that you've got everything to get really really balanced and hear yourself well. And as well as that, they're some of my favourite Maiden songs, so it's not really it's not really that difficult.
What about the fans? Were you worried about whether you'd have the support of the fans as well?
Well, really, yeah. In a way, I was. I always intended to go out and do my own thing and be myself, because I don't want to be a clone of Bruce Dickinson or Paul Di'Anno or anybody else for that matter. So I've got to do it my own way and be myself. But the only thing that the fans have said to me, all the people that I've met, is good luck and congratulations and well done, you know. And I've signed absolutely stacks, piles of autographs. It's gone like this. So it's been good, really. I was a bit nervous, but it's been great. The fans are just brilliant. I think the thing is, there's a thing there, because the most important thing to me about the band and being in the band is the music. It's really satisfying, it's great to play, and I think, well, that's what the fans care most about, is the music and the band carrying on doing that.
Well, I want to add my congratulations because I think that you've done everything with great flair and confidence and a lot of energy, and I think you'll just fit in really, really well. So keep up the good work. We're going to be talking to Blaze some more a little bit later on. Right now we have to go to our next break, but stick around. More action from the Iron Maiden tour to come. See you after the break.
Just go crazy. Lost down my time with for man, natural way to be born. Till I find him, never gonna stop searching. Gonna find my man, gonna travel road. Come on, Wrathchild, Wrathchild. Wrathchild, a comment connection. Oh yeah, yeah.
Back from an early video from Alice in Chains, and just a quick reminder that their new album, simply titled Alice in Chains, is out on the 6th of November, and we'll be bringing you further information about that in the coming weeks. But as you know, for tonight we are getting the lowdown on the new Iron Maiden album. We're on tour, on the X-Factour, in fact, in Johannesburg, and it's a case of access all areas. And right now we've got Steve and Nicko joining me here, just on the side of the stage before the gig. And we'll carry on talking a little bit about the record, because I was wondering, because you'd been away for a little while and you got a new vocalist in on things, did you feel any pressure, or do you still feel any pressure these days when you're coming out with a new record?
Yeah, we always feel pressure, but yeah, I suppose even more so the fact that we have been away for a while, new singer and all that. Yeah, I mean, you know, it's a bit nerve-wracking, and obviously it's nerve-wracking that we haven't played for 2 years and going out and doing gigs again, but that's part of the excitement, you know, definitely. I mean, it gives you an edge, doesn't it?
It does. Oh yeah.
Man on the edge, I think. Men on
Hello.
the edge.
Man on the edge.
Men on the edge, I think.
There were 75 men on the edge the first 3 gigs we did. Oh my goodness. Yeah, it's pressure, but I think the pressure was kind of a lot. It wasn't as hard as it possibly would have been if we hadn't known Blaze, you know, and after doing the album with him. And I mean, he's been in the band nearly 2 years. And, you know, it's great. We're having a great time.
Is it kind of a selfish process for you, though? Because I know that you're always a band that's always followed your instincts and done everything your way. So do you think about what the fans are going to think, or is it really what you think?
It's got to be what we think first. You know, you've got to be selfish to a certain degree, because, you know, we don't compromise with anybody outside the band, except, you know, that's the only thing you should do in a band, is compromise with each other and not outside. And then, you know, hopefully the fans like what we do. I mean, that's the way we've always approached the album. Yeah. So otherwise you end up sort of writing stuff what you think, writing to order what you think people are going to want, and disappear up your own, you know what.
Every minute I get weaker, while in the jungle they grow strong. What I wanted was a mission, and for my sins they gave me one. They brought it up just like room service, as everyone gets what you want. And when the mission was all over, I never want another one.
We decided, yeah, we were going to make sure that we had a really good, strong foundation with the drums, and then obviously from the bass and the guitars. And we're also having Nigel Green on board, who's also been into the sort of more modern sort of technology that's available studio-wise. You know, working with with ourselves on the rhythm side and then Steve actually producing it, we came up with what I think's the best sounding album we've ever had. Personally, from the drum sound, I hate it.
No, you love it.
I do.
Anyway, we're going to talk to the guys some more, and in fact, that's coming up in a little while. But up next, we're going to be talking to their support band here in South Africa, Lithium. New band to Headbangers Ball. Watch out for that coming up next. But getting us there, we're going to turn the clock back to a fantastic live performance from Iron Maiden. From Donington, we're going to show you Fear of the Dark. The debut video from Lithium, busting out of Cape Town with their debut album Broken, and also supporting Iron Maiden on this South African tour. And joining me now, I've got David and Simon from Lithium, and we're going to find out a little bit more about them. So welcome down to Headbangers Ball, guys. What does it mean to you to be supporting Iron Maiden? Is this the biggest gig you've ever played?
Oh yeah, up until now, yeah, we've done some of our own gigs, sort of drawing in crowds of about 1,000 people or so, but nothing like this. I mean, just to be on the same stage as them was incredible, you know.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, 1,000 people for your own gig sounds pretty healthy. I have no concept of what the rock scene is like here in South Africa. Could you tell us a little bit? Is there places to play? Is there a big following for rock music?
We found out that in Cape Town itself, there's not a lot of places to play. We do tend to organise our own concerts in halls, but never as big as an arena like this. So this is definitely the biggest thing we've done. But the biggest crowd we've ever played to is 1,200.
Yeah. I think the problem is that the sort of local clubs and stuff have been afraid to support original music. You know, there've been a lot of cover bands covering what's been going on overseas, which is bullshit. Because I mean, there's a good scene happening here. There've been a lot of good bands, you know. So, and now that's sort of they're waking up now, and the radios are starting to play a bit more. So I think you'll be seeing a lot of good bands coming out of South Africa.
Good.
Yeah.
That sounds exciting. Now, was the success of your live shows what actually got you a record deal? Because I would imagine it'd be quite hard for a band doing original material to get a record deal in South Africa.
Yeah, I think it was a mix of that, and we recorded a demo tape, and we sent all the stuff off to a couple of record companies, and EMI gave us the best response and the best deal. So. That was that, yeah. Great.
Now, you've called your debut album Broken. It's out in Europe early in the new year. And could you kind of tell us a little bit about your sound? Are you you've called yourselves Lithium. Is that any reference to Nirvana?
Yeah, we do have a sort of modern rock sounding sound about us. I wouldn't say we're anything to do with heavy metal, but the new rock sound that's come out of Seattle, and there's a lot of British bands that are doing well now. We're all about that sort of thing. Yeah.
So we can hope to see you in Europe maybe next year to support Broken.
I'd love to. Yeah.
Well, thank you for joining me. This is Lithium. You saw them first on Headbangers Ball. Right now, though, we have to go to our next commercial break. More Iron Maiden festivities on the way after that. But taking us into the break, we're going to check out a little bit of Lithium live here in Johannesburg.
Your head when you lost your heart. You lose your life before you get back to the start. You take a chance to find you sanctuary. Tomorrow's day, but friendship that you will. Let's go.
You've made it to the final part of the Headbangers Ball Iron Maiden X-Factour, T-O-U-R, in this case, special from Johannesburg. Steve, Dave and Nicko joining me now to talk more about the album. And Steve, we mentioned earlier that you co-produced the album, and I was wondering how difficult, does that add a new dimension to things for you? Because having produced 10 albums or written and recorded 10 albums, it must be kind of difficult to keep things challenging and creative.
Yeah, it is, but I was working with Nigel Green, who, although he sort of was an assistant engineer on a couple of earlier albums, you know, he's really come on and done a lot of things since then, big things, you know, and he's so experienced. It's brilliant working with him, and you know, we worked really well together, and it was a really good challenge, you know, and it, you know, so, as I said, it took ages to do, but it was like really exciting, you know, and sometimes it, you know, you get a bit sort of, you know, crazy in the studio there, but after being here so long, but you know, the end result is really pleasing. So that's the main thing.
Is it difficult to keep kind of writing new sounding songs and not kind of harking back to kind of thinking of things in the past?
Yeah, I suppose obviously, you know, you've always got to think that, you know, you want to go forward and you don't want to hark back to anything that you've done before anyway, you know. So if you think anything sounds a bit like something else, then you just spin it out anyway. But, you know, obviously it's a challenge to write new songs every time, and, you know, working with Blaze as well, you know, that helps out as well, because like a, you know, slightly different direction and stuff. And it's enjoyable, you know. I mean, also we hadn't done an album for a while, so, you know, the whole thing really is just really exciting. It's great to get out and play new songs on stage as well, you know, so.
So Dave, could I have your perspective on how do you think Blaze has contributed to the band? Do you think he has, like Steve said, in what way do you feel that he's kind of altered the sound?
Yeah, we're coming in just like the enthusiasm and the energy, and it's so positive that as soon as he started, you know, singing with the band, it was like he'd been part of the band, you know, for a long time. And the way he sings as well, like he projects in the songs. A lot of the songs actually changed a few keys here and there, so you know, to really bring his voice out to the full. And he's a great guy as well. And so having that new blood and stepping into Bruce's shoes, you know, is done. Yeah, and he's done incredible. He sings with a lot of feel, and you know, you see tonight on stage, he's just totally into it. And it's a pleasure to play, you know, with him in the band. It's a pleasure to play, you know, with him as a musician. You know?
And just to sort of quickly talking about the lyrics, Steve, generally speaking, they're quite dark and intense. Could you attribute that to anything in particular?
Well, Blaze is a pretty dark and intense sort of bloke, really. Although he sort of wrote half and I wrote half. But yeah, I suppose it's just a lot of things have been going on around the world the last 2 or 3 years. There's been so much stuff going on, and you can't help but kind of rub off on you, really. And just the style and the way Blaze sings as well, that kind of lends itself to that kind of style or writing or whatever. But yeah, he's definitely dark and intense, I would say that, yeah.
Good description. Okay, well, we'll talk to the guys some more, and we're going to be meeting up with our competition winner, Stella from Germany. She's out on the road with us here in Johannesburg. Watch out for her. But right now, something a little bit special. We've already enjoyed the new video from Ozzy Osbourne earlier in the show, and right now we're going into the new Def Leppard clip, and this is from their forthcoming greatest hits album, Vault, and it's a fantastic new track, fantastic ballad in fact, When Love and Hate Collide. Backstage at the Standard Bank Arena in Johannesburg, and right now we're going to meet our X-Factor competition winners, Stella and Erwin from Germany. So congratulations. Stella actually won the competition. So Stella, are you having a good time so far?
Yes, it's a really very beautiful time.
And I think she's very shy. And Erwin is also a big fan of Iron Maiden, so he benefited from Stella's card being pulled out of the hat there. And how long have you been a fan?
Well, actually, since 10 years, I think, since middle 80s, starting with the Summer in Time album.
Good.
Yes.
So long time fan. Now, you guys got a question that you'd like to ask the band, haven't you? So what would you like to ask?
Well, we've got a lot of questions, actually, but just one for today. Yes, concerning your new album. Well, admittedly, I didn't have the chance to listen to it. Just the first track, the opener, Sign of the Cross. A surprising track, I must say, and well, which stands in the great tradition of such songs as Alexander the Great or Rime of the Ancient Mariner. Could you tell us something about this?
Steve's your man.
Yeah, I wrote the song, so and it's a like 11.5-minute song, and I suppose it's in a tradition of the Maiden epic type of songs. There's everything by the kitchen sink in there. So we don't open the set up with it though. It opens the album, but we open the set up with. Actually, I won't say.
So what are the competition winners going to be doing? They've been hanging backstage, on stage.
Yes, they're going to be coming. Yes, they're going to come up on stage and sing with the band. It's okay. Don't worry. There's no words to this part of the song. Okay, so you can just have a good time, and one of our guys will brief you what to do upstairs, and come out and just enjoy yourself, and then they'll probably be coming back with us after the show to our hotel, and in Sun City, boys and girls, and then we'll have some fun tomorrow.
We will.
Yeah.
Okay.
So.
Well, let's take a look at what Stella and Erwin got up to on their trip to Johannesburg with Iron Maiden. Check this out. competition. I hope they've had a good time out here in South Africa, and it's been great having them along. And that just about concludes Headbangers Ball's first ever visit to South Africa. I hope you've enjoyed our coverage of the Iron Maiden X-Factour. I've certainly enjoyed being here, and of course we can look forward to it coming to Europe in just a few weeks' time. Major thanks to Iron Maiden, Sanctuary Management and EMI. And before I sign off, I just want to invite you to stick around for half an hour of extreme and brutal music, courtesy of Into the Pit. And tonight it's hosted by Aaron from My Dying Bride, which is kind of cool because My Dying Bride are going to be supporting Iron Maiden on their European tour. So stick around. Into the Pit coming up next, but I'm going to sign off right now with live performance from Iron Maiden and tour dates for their upcoming European tour. Good night from Johannesburg.
Circle of five, my baptism of joy as your embassies. 7 o'clock train, the life opens before me. And I will go. Someday I may return. Don't you cry for me. Beyond is where I live.